Hello. Something else a little bit different today. It's not something that I've done a lot of. I have had a little go at it, and I did show some in a video I did quite a while ago, a couple or two or three. I'm going to make some stamps, and I showed a video where I'd made two or three, probably over a year and a half ago. I think it was when I did the Foxy Planner video. I showed some. We're going to do that, but I wanted to start off with something to stamp onto in a little while. So I've got some cardie paper. It takes watercolour quite well, so I'm going to do some watercolour on this. I've got my Tracie watercolours here. So just, oh, that wasn't a very good start. What I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to wet my paper. It's not the best of brushes for this. Let's do two. Let's do two. I mean, this is not nothing new. I'm not doing anything new. So I know there are people out there who's done something similar. This is just going to be my bit of fun for today. So I'm going to grab a couple of colours. I'll get a bit more water on there. A bit like my paint rollers, I don't really very often clean my palette, so I know it's a bit of a mess. Okay, I'm just going to lay some colour down. And this is just because I wanted a background once I've done. I'm going to add a little bit of red into there. And I'll give this a little bit of time to dry. I seem to have lost. Oops, I've just got to put my password in. Okay, so they're just going to be my little simple backgrounds. Put those aside, and now we can start on the stamps. So I have the cheapest erasers I could possibly find. There were 20 of these when I started. Taking a lot of practice. I'm still not an expert by any means. So let's just open one. Now, I also have a very, very cheap set of tools. They were under £10, again, from Amazon. And they look like this. Okay. You can get them even cheaper if you use, they have another one with a plastic top. And you just unscrew this and you can swap your blades out. I'm going to use the smallest blade. But before I got that, I was using this. I don't know what set of, this came with a set of needles. I'm not sure what kind of set it was. But I was using this, so you know, you can use other things to mark make in your eraser. You don't have to have the proper tools. Now, again, you could use a Sharpie to draw out your design if you wanted to. I found that quite difficult to actually do, so I'm going to use my ink pad. Now I'm going to do some very, very simple designs. I don't want anything complicated. Oops, I've had a bit of a landslide over there with the papers. Okay, I don't want anything complicated. I want them quite basic, fairly naive kind of patterns, which is the only kind I can actually make on these tiny little erasers, to be perfectly honest. But what I'm doing is I just ink one side. I'm just going to take a little bit off, but this way I can actually see where I'm removing the eraser, and I find that a lot easier than drawing out a design and then removing it. And I'm going to do some very, very simple ones. So to start with, I'm going to make some cross marks, because I don't want anything difficult. I want these to be, like I said, quite naive and easy to make. Now, it gets a bit messy when you're inking the stamp, or we're calling it stamp now instead of an eraser, because that's what it's going to be. But it is quite tricky. And the good thing about it is, on each of these, you've got two erasers, because you can do the back too. You can turn it over and use the other side. Okay, and I have got that. I'm finding it very difficult to talk and do things. Oh, and I also apologise if the sound is not particularly great today, but the cat ate my microphone, so I have no foam top on it at the moment. Okay, so that is very, very basic, and I'm just going to see how that stamps. And I've got a piece of random eraser there. Okay, quite happy with that. That's not bad. That's not bad. So just grab my kitchen towel, because I'm not going to use ink to actually use those once we get down to it. So let's do another one. Okay, this time I'm going to do, I've got a couple with crisscross marks on, and I've got a couple with with leaves on. So this time I'm going to do, well, I've got a few actually now, because I've been making these for a couple of days, just off and on, just as a little, let's do a squiggly line. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just make a little nick inside each one of those. Very, very simple. Very, very simple indeed. Yep, quite like that. Like that one too. I've made... just looking at the other ones I've got two with lines on. I've got, let's think of another one. I've got two leaves so far. So what I might do is, what could we do? I think I might do a straightforward zigzag line next. Okay, dip that in my ink. Yeah, I have already filmed one today, and I made this one, and I made this one, and I made this one. But I realised I just wasn't talking. I was just, you know, very, very quiet because I don't know really why. I just find it difficult to, especially when you're a bit out of sorts. I think the whole, you know, staying in and not socialising with people and not really talking very much to people as much as we used to, kind of, you get into that mindset really where you don't talk a lot, which, you know, some people might actually think that's pretty good. Now what I want to do, if this is going to work, is just do a couple of little lines up the middle of that. Don't know why. Let's see what that one looks like. Got a bit of random debris on there. They look like A's, don't they? Now do I want to go back the other way? I'm not sure. That one would make it quite busy, wouldn't it? Let's leave that as it is for now. I'm just going to clean that one off. And because I messed up that leaf a bit, I'll show you this one. I messed up the base of the leaf. It's quite thick there. So I'm going to do one more leaf. Excuse me. Okay. I just find it a lot easier to ink and remove. I like to do things backwards. I don't know. It's just me. Okay, so I'm going to do another leaf. Shall I make quite a small leaf in here? No, let's try and make it about the same size, but maybe a little bit skinnier. Oh, there we go. We've already got a... You can kind of feel when you're slipping and you make an error with this. It's easy to feel it. Okay, I'm going to just do a little... Okay. You do have to watch fingers. It's not they're not particularly dangerous, these tools, but they could be if you slip. Let's have a look at that one. More debris on there. I think that's come off the pad actually, the ink pad. Still some. Right, okay, third time lucky, third time lucky. That's not bad actually. I've got a little bit of a gap here. That's where I slipped. So I'm going to try and rectify that a little bit. The only thing that does mean is then you get a thicker line in places. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that leaf. Okay, so I'm just going to check my watercolours. They're not 100% dry, so I'm going to grab... Quite cool. I actually like using kitchen towel to lift off. You get kind of a quite nice effect on watercolour when you do that. They're not perfectly dry, but we're going to just see what happens. I want six stamps. I want to make sure they are fairly clean. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure about that one. 4, 5, and I'm going to use the line one that I made before. Actually, I'm not going to use that line one because I'm going to use this one, and the reason why is because when I made this one, I actually took the edges off, so it wasn't a very square stamp, but for the effect that I want to do, I want square, so I'm going to use that one. Now I've got, this is called Pearl Marmalade from Arteza. I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to have to take that. And I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work exactly, or whether it will, because I have not used paints on these stamps yet. Oh. And I've used way too much. Let me get out my... Okay. I've got a little roller, It's not clean. It's not brilliantly clean. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a practice. I just want a fairly light coat of paint in one area, and we're going to just have a little practice before we start creating anything. Just grab a sheet of paper, and I'm going to use that as my palette, my stamp pad if you like, and let's see whether that's going to work. Yeah, liking it. That's cool. Okay. So using that as my stamp pad, I'm going to grab one of my watercolours. Now this is not flat because that's the trouble with using watercolour on cardie paper, but we'll see what happens. Now, I mean, I could roll the paint from the roller onto here. That's another option. And I'm going to go top middle first of all. Okay, now I want my leaf. This paint won't go to waste, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to go bottom middle. And I've got two wiggly stamps. So I'm going to put those opposite each other. So let's go top left. And this one will go top right. No, bottom right. Got my finger in there, never mind. Let's go here. Okay, just load this up a little bit more. I'm doing that thing again where I'm not talking. I do apologise. So sorry. I mean, this would look great on journaling tags, journaling cards. You can do all sorts with these, and they're so easy and fun. There we go. So that's our little piece made with our handmade stamps. Now what I am going to do, because I've got this piece of paper and I've got a lot of paint on my jelly plate. That's quite cool. It'll be used in some collage or something or other. Let's just see, I've got some leftover paint on the roller. How much difference that makes, just so we're not wasting it, because these can always be cut out and used. That one's a little bit less, but whether or not they would have worked. And the good thing about these is you can just chuck them into a bowl of warm soapy water, give them a wash, and they're good to go. Anyway, that's me done for today. My quick little let's make some stamps and see what happens. I hope you liked it. I think that's pretty cool. I like the softness of those stamps and the square edges on there. And again, they're so easy to do. So have a go. If you do some, then please, there's just some I made before. This is what they'd look like with ink, because these were inked, and this is potting soil by Ranger. So you can use ink as well as paints, but I just wanted to give the paints a go. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. Bye.